underneath some end zone bleachers where what do they call them, the lady cats? Is that what they call them?
First ladies.
First ladies,
there
okay. I thought there was a cat in there. There's always a cat in there somewhere. So the first ladies. Oh, that's kind of cute.
It's because White House, first lady,
Gosh, I'm slow.
It's a political pun.
I never thought of that.
There you go.
Who thought of that?
I couldn't tell
Have
you.
they been doing that for the last 4 years, or did they drop that?
I don't know.
Yeah, you find out. So, but they built a new junior high right behind us here, and I thought it was interesting that they call it Whitehouse Junior High. I have not seen junior high on a school in, 25, 30 years?
Well, interesting that you say that. I know that in the White House district there is a 6th grade campus. Holloway, I believe, is the name of the school, and it is 6th grade only.
Oh man!
And so
6th graders, man, they're dangerous.
Yeah, I suppose
they're right between that age.
I guess they just kind of had to sort of be in their own space, and so. But I think because of that, a lot of school districts, middle schools, like in Jacksonville, for example, are, I believe, 6th through 8th. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that is correct.
On that, Matt.
That is correct.
But so I guess by moving the 6th graders out to another campus, they thought, well, we don't really want to call it a middle school because it's not a traditional middle school. So that would be my guess.
We'll have to check that out, and we'll get back to everybody and let them know. But 6th grade's that age where, they're in between. They're not cute anymore, and they go from cute to, oh my gosh, why'd you say that? So. It's a unique age, and maybe that's why they have the 6th grade campus. I'll leave that to the school boards and educators to figure that out. So we're just about ready to get these teams out on the field. Jacksonville Fightin Indians in the north end zone getting ready to come out onto the field. No run through today on a very damp day in Whitehouse, where the 7-1 Wildcats trying to bounce back from their first loss of the year, losing last week to Pine Tree, 27-14. As the close ball game, and Pine Tree pulled away in the second half. Actually, I believe Pine Tree had 21 unanswered points to finish that off. So Wildcats will be coming out. They do have a run-through setup. Is Jacksonville now getting ready to come out? Good crowd here on the White House side, and Jacksonville fans still rolling in. Aaron, here comes the Tribe. There's no band here today for Jacksonville, so Aaron, if you'll cue up the Notre Dame music.
I knew I forgot something.
Yeah. Can't think of everything.
My trombone I left at the house.
I would do the na-na-na. That just wouldn't sound good. No, it'd be terrible.
So now White House getting ready to come out of their Wildcat run through. They got the smoke going, and here comes the home team. White House in the white helmets, the gray jerseys, and maroon pants.
With they have the word dub on the side of those helmets.
I was trying to figure out what that said. Dub, okay.
D-U-B, dub.
All right, the dub.
Yeah, Jacksonville's hoping to turn that B into an H today. Duh. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not.
Or turn the turn the dub into an L.
There you go. Turn it into an L. I like that better. I like that much better. So we'll be having the White House band behind us all evening long, as I am on the visitor sideline. As I mentioned, the band with the social distancing. You think, well, why is the White House band on this side? Aaron, you called it a minute ago. It's social distancing. Just keeping everybody all spread out and everything. So there goes the Wildcat run through. They don't bring it down. They just wheel that baby off. I like that. Now getting ready for the national anthem by the White House High School Band. And the north end zone also flanked by the First Ladies drill team. Oh, everybody's not too much turkey, man. It just seems kind of slow down here, Aaron. Everybody's moving slow.
Everybody's dragging just a little bit.
The coaches are walking slow. The players are kind of milling around. It's just...
Performs our national anthem.
Here we go. Here's the national anthem. Whitehouse High School Band with a national anthem. Aaron, I want to take a second and say thank you to our sponsors for our countdown to kickoff. Micah Hoffpower and Texas Farm Bureau. Appreciate Micah always sponsoring this part of our countdown to kickoff, as well as our crew over at the South Jackson Dairy Queen. Gene Brumlow, class of 66, and Farmer, class of 2006, South Jackson Street Dairy Queen. We appreciate Gene, and of course, Micah Hoffpower, JHS class of 98, Texas Farm Bureau, for sponsoring our countdown to kickoff. Captains now meeting at midfield. Jacksonville being represented by Gerardo Ramirez. And Whitehouse has won the toss, and they will defer to the second half, so Jacksonville's offense will get the football to start the game.
And that's Garrett Fightin, the captain for Whitehouse, and captains making their way back.
6'2", 240 is Fightin.
Yeah,
he's one of their players now.
He's a big fella.
Yeah, he is a big kid. So the drizzle has stopped, so maybe we are seeing that blow by now, as thought that was just going to move on down toward the south, but it kind of hung around here, and now we're starting to see a little bit of a break as the misty part is kind of stopped. So maybe we'll be able to get that football drive before it's over.
Well, we were talking in the pregame on the way over, Matt, as much as Jacksonville likes to throw the ball, the drier we can keep the football, the better.
Absolutely. Isaiah Mallard, who has 2 long kickoff returns to his credit in 2020, a 97-yarder for a score and a 90-yarder against Pine Tree. It'll be interesting to see where Whitehouse kicks this football to. As the Wildcats set to go, we're set to go. Glad you're with us. Jacksonville versus Whitehouse with your play-by-play. Here's Aaron Swing.
Wildcats have the ball on the tee. The kick is on the way. It's a short one to the near side. It'll be caught cleanly at the 30 by Darian Jones. He's got room to run. He's at midfield into Wildcat territory. Down over the 35-yard line goes Jones.
Yeah, just not a very good job by Whitehouse on that coverage, clearly. As Darian Jones, it's the high pop-up, and Whitehouse completely overran Jones, who made a nice inside move. Then he kind of cut back to the outside toward the sidelines in front of the Whitehouse bench, skips down the field, and Jacksonville gets the short field to the Whitehouse 32. Here comes Clater at quarterback for Jacksonville as the Fightin Indians off to a good start on that kickoff return.
2 Indian receivers on the left side of the formation, 1 on the right for Clater. Now man in motion is McEwen. The handoff straight ahead, and not much there.
Dino.
As Hinojosa just having trouble getting going there.
This is a good Whitehouse defense. They give up, on average, 17 points a ball game. Jacksonville's offense scoring at a 27-point per game click, so something's going to change there. Is Jacksonville now looking at 2nd down and 9.
Clater takes the snap, drops back, looks left, fires. Incomplete. Could have been a disaster.
Oof, man. Hinojosa had not even got into his break, and that ball was getting thrown by Patrick. 2 Whitehouse Wildcats over there. Sam Cook, a corner, he almost jumped that and took it the other way. Went right through his arms. He just didn't see it well. So 3rd down, 9 for Jacksonville. So not a good start offensively for the Fightin Indians. Set up in great field position. Got to take advantage of this.
Clater's got 2 receivers on his right. He's going to roll that way. Look, he fires deep into the end zone.
Pinson.
Touchdown, Tony Pinson.
Gosh, I could see him. I mean, nobody covered Pinson. Total breakdown in the coverage for Whitehouse. Jaden Brandon just let Pinson go right by him. And when Pinson was at the 20, there wasn't a Wildcat. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him. And he skips into the end zone, and Patrick finally lets the ball go. I thought Clater held on to it too long. For the score, and here is Solano with the extra point.
The extra point attempt is brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty. It is up and good. So with 11:06 to go here in the opening quarter, score now Jacksonville 7, Whitehouse nothing. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Fightin Indian Football on JHS-Sports.com.
Dr. Folden, Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Rutherford, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-586-0741.
Bill McRae Ford has been serving East Texans since 1976. They can help you find the best deal on a used car or if you're ready to purchase something new. Open Monday through Saturday, Bill McRae Ford. Come see us.
If you walk through the Tomato Bowl, you've seen the beautiful large photos and arrowheads as well as signage around the stadium. Eric and Kathleen Stanfield can print large format images on metal, glass, and wood, and they do a lot more. Visit their showroom and see for yourself. Congratulations in Jacksonville, sponsors of the Play of the Game Award.
And we're back live, Wildcat Stadium, as the Indians have gone up 7-0. Solano's got it on the tee. We'll go to Todd Travis for our drive summary after this fair catch is made at the Wildcat 37. Todd, how about a quick strike scoring summary?
It was a 3-play, 32-yard drive, finished with a touchdown, putting the Indians up 7-0.
Yeah, sure did start well. Those first two offensive plays were nothing to behold. And again, breakdown in the Whitehouse secondary, and Tony Benson, who's really come on as a receiver for Jacksonville, especially on the deep ball, makes the touchdown grab, and the Indians already on the board in less than a minute of play. Here is Whitehouse and their quarterback, Joey Conflitti.
Conflitti, number 4, has got 2 receivers on his right. He's got one on his left. He's going to hand off straight ahead and out to about the 44-yard line.
And that's going to be Matthew Gooden on the carry. Check that. It's not yet. It is Matthew Gooden. I'm sorry. His number's tucked into that back pad that a lot of players have for protection, on the back there. And so it's hard to see the end of those twos. Is Gooden now will go into the slot, and it'll be Trevor Thiering going in motion with no backs.
So, as Matt said, an empty backfield. Now they'll bring Gooden back in. Lots of motion before the play. The handoff goes to Gooden, and up the middle, he's into Fightin Indian territory, down to the Jacksonville 44-yard line.
Yeah, one of the strengths of Whitehouse is running the football. A lot of times people think of Whitehouse, and of course Patrick Mahomes, throwing the football all over the place, which they did for a decade. And the last couple of years, Whitehouse has started to run the football more, and they get the first down. They're first of the game.
So down to the Jacksonville 43, as Conflitti will hand off to Gooden again, and he'll be tripped up just as he gets going.
Casey Kennedy on the tackle for Jacksonville, as the Jacksonville defensive front, once again, we talk about it every game. They are undersized against the opposing offensive line, and no different this week with Whitehouse with the size advantage. Jacksonville with that 3-4 defense, struggling on this opening drive, just containing Gooden. 2nd and 7 for Whitehouse.
High snap is brought down. Conflitti hands off to Gooden. Straight up the middle he goes, down to the Jacksonville 31-yard line, and another first down.
It's just base blocking by Whitehouse. Nothing fancy, nobody pulling, and it's just straightforward. And they're just blowing Jacksonville off the football right now. It's the Fightin Indians. Caden Franklin, the sophomore, at the nose. And you've got Ramirez, the senior, at the other right tackle, and Carson Cleaver at the other tackle. So giving up a lot of size, as I said earlier, and boy, Whitehouse has taken advantage of it. First down for the Cats at the Jacksonville 31.
2 receivers right, 1 left. Gooden stays in. Check that. Newback is in, a handoff straight ahead.
Hall.
A burst for Mikevic Hall.
Sophomore with a deep carry into the Jacksonville red zone. The 18, another first down for Whitehouse, strictly running the ball. Hall will stay in the game for Whitehouse at running back.
Yeah, trips right, 1 left, but expect Hall to get the ball again here. Conflitti taking his time, now gets the snap, hands it off to Hall. Good pursuit that time, though, as the Indians blow him up.
Yeah, Kevin Hernandez really did a nice job getting off the block and coming around the edge. And Hall, the sophomore, didn't make a great decision that time, Aaron, in my opinion. He probably should have cut back into the middle where the block was. He decided to go outside, and there was Jacksonville's Hernandez, the senior, makes the tackle. Jacksonville's best defensive play so far on this drive. Whitehouse gains 1 second, 9, Jacksonville 17.
Clock winds down towards 8 minutes here in the first quarter. Conflitti's going to look to throw for the first time. He's still looking, throwing to his right. Got a man inside the 5. If he pulled it in, he did. Complete.
Gosh, I thought he was throwing that ball away, Aaron. And DeCarlton Wilson, another sophomore, goes up and gets it. Did it look to you like he was trying to throw it away?
It really did.
Yeah. And his sophomore
Wilson wouldn't have it.
He just went up and got it, took it away. First and goal now for the Wildcats at the Jacksonville 3-yard line.
Conflitti takes the snap, hands it off to Hall. Straight up the middle he goes. He'll be stopped just short of the goal line.
Great tackle again. Kevin Hernandez coming on the backside. He switched sides on his him and Cleaver flopped, and so that time Hernandez comes around the edge, and he drops Hall. Hall does pick up a couple down to the 1. So second goal, Whitehouse, trying to tie Jacksonville up.
7:24 and counting here, first quarter. Hall, the fake handoff as Conflitti actually keeps it, and he's in and he scores.
Yeah, great ball fake right there. Really sold by the sophomore Hall, as Conflitti just faked everybody out, knifes in, and Whitehouse with this spread out, not even a swinging gate. Look at this.
It's interesting for sure.
Backert is going to take the snap. Now they're going to start switching back into the kicking position to tack on the extra point. It's Ben Harris, the junior for Whitehouse, to try to tie this game up at 7. Strange
Extra
formation.
Points. Extra points brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty all season. This one for the Cats is up and good. 7:18 to go, first quarter. Score now, the Fightin Indians 7 and the Wildcats 7. We'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to Jacksonville Fightin Indian football on JHS-sports.com.
Since 1953, Huber Glass Oil has been serving East Texans the finest automotive fuels and lubricants. Huber Glass Oil Company, the clear solution for your business.
The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich is delicious. It's got that barbecue flavor, that cheese melts on top with that Texas toast. You look at it, your mouth starts watering. It's my go-to sandwich. The honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich, that's my all-time favorite.
Hi, I'm Matt Montgomery. For the past 37 years, I've been helping people just like you get their financial ducks in a row. I'm a registered investment advisor and chartered financial consultant. We do portfolio management and comprehensive financial planning. Give me a call for a free consultation.
We're back live at Wildcat Stadium in Whitehouse, where the home team has just tied up the Fightin Indians 7-7 in a drive that was almost all running. Kick on the way is a short pop-up.
Get that!
And they're going to let it bounce for the Indians. Jones will finally take it on the bounce. That was dangerous, Matt Montgomery.
I do not know what Peter Torres was doing right there for Jacksonville. I mean, you got to find the football when it's short like that. You can't assume that the guy behind you, in this case Darian Jones, is going to be able to get to it. Jones could not get there. And Torres just let the ball, I mean, that ball went right by his helmet. And fortunately for Jacksonville, that ball bounced right up to Darian Jones. And Jacksonville gets decent field position at their own 38. Wow. What an adventure some of these kickoffs have been this year for Jacksonville.
That's for sure. 2 Indian receivers each way. Hinojosa at the back. Clater going to look to throw to Rivers as he makes his way into Wildcat territory for a Bill McRae Ford first down.
Tight spiral that time by Patrick Clater on the slant route, and really liked the way Dontrell Rivers kind of squatted right there. He didn't finish his little slant route because he saw the safety coming up, so he stopped. And, boy, the ball was right there by Patrick. First down, Jacksonville.
Indians back into Wildcat territory, looking to reestablish their lead. Clater's going to have to run himself, and not much doing. Good tackle at the end of that play.
Yeah, Eric Brody coming up and tripping Clater up, who was looking down the field for Hinojosa on a rail route, and Hinojosa just wasn't able to get into his route. Kind of got bumped by a linebacker, and Clater just couldn't wait around for him, so he took off. Does pick up a yard, 2nd and 9.
.6:20 and counting, first quarter. If you're just joining us, it's a tie ball game here in Whitehouse as the Indians will empty the backfield, and a deep shot being taken by Clater. There's got to be a flag.
Oh, my goodness
No
gracious.
call.
Wow. Pinson was trying to come back for that football, and he couldn't get there because he was getting pushed. No call. 3rd and 9. So Pinson with the 32-yard touchdown pass on Jacksonville's first drive on the score. That time, Clater trying to do the same thing, and coverage was there. I thought he got pushed. No call.
So 3rd down and 9. Jacksonville looking to convert, sustain a drive for a little while against a Whitehouse team that loves to run the ball. So Clater rolling right, looking under pressure. You're just going to have to fling it out incomplete.
Oh, man.
That'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, just not enough options right there for Clater. He just got locked in right there to Tony Pinson, who was running about a 12-yard out route. And with Whitehouse getting in coverage, their cornerback covering that well, you got to have another option. And Clater just ran out of real estate, throws it away. Now Darian Jones will punt the football, and Jacksonville will play some field position here.
See if Jones can pin the Wildcats deep here. He puts the boot into it. It's end over end, kind of a lazy fly ball. Hits inside the 20, takes a great Jacksonville bounce. The Indians going to let this one roll down all the way to the 5-yard line, maybe the 6, and down it there.
Yeah, it could not have been a better bounce for Darian Jones. It wasn't a pretty punt, obviously. It just looked like straight up in the air, but boy, when it hit this turf, it took a nice forward roll all the way down just outside the Whitehouse 5, between the 5 and the 6. So Whitehouse scoring on their first drive as Jacksonville did. They get the stop, and the Wildcats will start their second drive of the game at their own 6.
Gooden in the backfield again with Joey Conflitti. 2 Whitehouse receivers, right side, 1 left. Handoff is to Gooden. Straight ahead he goes, and he's out to about the 12.
Cameron Fuller had to come up from his secondary to make that tackle, and we talk about this. We've talked about it a lot this year. Jacksonville just does not have a lot. Once you get by that front line and the linebackers get clipped, it's tough, man, to catch guys in the open field. Fuller makes the tackle, but not before they get 6.
2 men in motion from the left to the right. Now Conflitti takes the snap, hands off, right side running is Gooden, bouncing it back to the middle, and he'll pick up a few and looks like will be good enough for first down yardage.
Carson Cleaver on the tackle with Casey, and so not a bad play for Jacksonville, but they just needed the 4 yards to get the first down. But I thought Jacksonville did a nice job there, staying in position to make the tackle, and they did. But it's a first down, Whitehouse.
Man in motion gets the pitch, and Jacksonville going to have to stay home, and pretty good job there.
Yeah, DeCarlton Wilson, the sophomore, made that great catch for Whitehouse that helped set up their first touchdown. He'll get 4 on the little jet sweep with a pitch, if you call it, not a handoff, just kind of quarterback just kind of tosses it to him forward. And so Conflitti gets the play call from the sidelines. He's in the backfield with Hall.
He's got 2 receivers each way, and Hall's the back. He's got some time to look and get the play, does Conflitti. And now he will roll to his right, fire to his right, and he's got his man for first down yardage.
Yeah, Trevor Thiering with the catch for a first down. As the Indians playing pretty soft, just look like they're saying we're not going to let anybody get by us. But that's enough for another first down. A drive that started at the Whitehouse 6 has now pushed the football out to the Wildcat 29.
.359 to go first quarter. Tie ball game here in Whitehouse, 7-all if you're just joining us. Handoff this time, nowhere to go. Jacksonville all over it.
Yeah, there's Bryson Tatum for Jacksonville, the senior 3-year starting linebacker. Last week you didn't hear a whole lot out of Bryson Tatum, as Texas High knew as the best defensive player for Jacksonville that they ran away from him. I mean, they didn't really attack him, and you saw last week we just didn't call his name very much. Makes a nice tackle there, does Bryson.
So now 2nd and 9. Well, the Wildcats, Conflitti going to look to throw a little screen pass or a little pop pass out into the flat. Not much there. Jacksonville doing a nice job covering it again.
Yep, Rivers on the nice tackle right there, holding on to him. So it's going to be 3rd down and long. How about 3rd and 7 for Whitehouse? They're already ready to go here, hurrying up.
They've got 2 receivers on each side of the formation. Jacksonville needs to make sure they're matched up in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, Whitehouse changing the play here, didn't see Jacksonville in the defense they wanted, so Conflitti will pause and get another play. Now they're ready to go.
And so Conflitti drops back, looks over the middle, and fires incomplete.
Trying to set up a screen to Thiering, and just nothing there. Jacksonville Cleaver all over it, breaking it, helping, or actually forcing Conflitti to throw the ball too high, where his receiver Thiering, who was coming underneath, just couldn't get it. So Whitehouse now will punt the ball for the first time. Landon Elliott, the junior, will punt the ball away to Jacksonville's Darian Jones.
Of course, Jones had the great kickoff return, set up the first scoring drive for the Indians. So we'll see if he can.
Yeah, and he had that great punt a minute ago too. That put it at the 6.
Yeah, see if he can continue his great special teams day that he's got going so far. So the kick is away, and it'll chase Jones. He's going to make the catch back over his shoulder, but he's dumped inside the 20, back near the 15. Maybe they'll spot him a little bit up for forward progress.
Well, that's a great play by Darian Jones. I mean, he got whacked on it, and he didn't make a return on it. But if that ball hits the ground the way that it was turning over, that may go inside the 5. He saves a lot of yardage right there, I think, risking it and catching it over his shoulder. You don't like to see players do that sometimes, but when it works, you're really glad they did.
Yeah, you're thankful for the outcome, for sure.
Good outcome. Here's Jacksonville at their own 25. It's Ryan McCowan.
Ryan McCowan for the first time in the varsity lineup this season, and he will fire complete.
Yeah, I think Ryan was over the line of scrimmage maybe. Ryan was going to take off, and he was going to run with the football, and he decided, nope, there's Devin. I'm going to throw it to him. I think he might have gone just beyond that line of scrimmage. So Ryan McCown, the sophomore, of course, everybody knows he's the son of Randy McCown, the former Jacksonville Fightin Indian in the early 90s, the 3-year starter, and then went on to Texas A&M. So we have a personal foul roughing the passer.
Late hit on him. He threw the ball and he hit him.
I thought he was close to that line of scrimmage.
He was close, but he was good.
But he was not, obviously, and good call, Todd.
Yeah, good spot, Todd.
Yep. So personal foul on Whitehouse for the late hit. And, of course, to finish that, Randy, his dad, great quarterback at Texas A&M, and really excited to finally see one of those McCown boys have one come up in the system. And here he is right here getting his debut against Whitehouse. First play, not too bad, huh?
Yeah, he's got 2 receivers each way to McCown, and he'll drop back under a little bit of pressure, and he's slung down. That looked like it could have been a horse collar, but maybe he got the jersey lower down on his back. But
well, Chris Roberts just reached out as he was being blocked by Jacksonville's Billy Bateman, and boy, he just reached right around Bateman and grabs Ryan McCown's shoulder and just pulls him down. So big loss on the play of about 8, 2nd down, 18 now. Pushes the ball back to the Jacksonville 40.
Trips right, 1 left for McCown this time. He'll roll to his right. Needs to get rid of the ball, but cannot, and he's thrown down.
He just didn't have anybody. I mean, it isn't like, he's trying to run with it. I mean, everybody was covered. Just great coverage by Whitehouse's secondary. I mentioned earlier, this is a Whitehouse team that only gives up 17 points per ball game. So they have a better defense than what they've normally had in the past, at least the last 5 years. And they covered up everybody really well right there. 3rd down, 27, because Jacksonville's been sacked 2 consecutive plays. And some of that, is the young quarterback getting his feet wet. And that's okay. He didn't make a mistake and throw it into coverage either.
So 3rd and long.
Wayne Coleman's going to take a timeout here.
And we'll take it with him. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Fightin' Indian Football on JHS-sports.com.
Gene Brumlow, class of 66, and his daughter Ann Farmer proudly support Jacksonville Athletics. Come on over to the South Jackson Dairy Queen and get one of their world-famous blizzards. Dairy Queen, where happy tastes good.
Tonight's game statistics are sponsored by Randy Gorham, CPA. Randy Gorham, CPA, the source for your accounting and income tax needs since 1984. Since 2004, Legends Old Time Burger Cafe has been the home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburgers. Hand-battered chicken strips, chicken fried steak, fries, and onion rings are the best around. Legends, home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburger.
And we are back live at Wildcat Stadium in Whitehouse. 3rd and 27 coming up here for the Fightin' Indians. And here's a test for your young quarterback, Matt.
Yeah, what's your 3rd and 27 call, huh?
That's right. 2 each way go the receivers. McCowan, pop pass over the middle to Hinojosa, and that's going to be well short, of course.
Yeah, I mean, that's just basically let's just get out of this series of downs. Let's let the quarter run out, and then we're going to take the wind and punt the football from our own 30-yard line. Let's see if Darian can get a good punt as we'll start the second quarter here after this 15 seconds runs out of this first quarter.
Yeah, they'll just run it off. So at the end of 1, we have a tie ball game here in White House. Jacksonville 7 and the Wildcats 7. We'll take a short break as they switch ends and come back. You're listening to Fightin' Indian Football on JHS-sports.com.
Austin Bank. You've known us all along.
That 100% beef Whataburger takes 2 hands and all of your attention. So yeah, now's the time to sneak that fry. Good thing there's plenty to savor. Good thing there's Whataburger.
And we are back here at Wildcat Stadium in White House as we get set to begin the second quarter with another Darian Jones punt. Matt, he's going to be looking for another great one.
Yeah, he's going to be standing about his 18-yard line, and good call by Wayne Coleman letting that quarter run out to get the wind. Not much of it, but just a little bit.
Every little bit helps your punter. So Jones gets this one away, end over end. Let's see if it'll hit and take another Jacksonville roll, and it does inside the 30.
Not bad.
Down to about the 25. So all in all, not too bad as you said, Matt.
Turns the field around a little bit. So 7-7 as we start the second quarter here in White House as both teams just kind of feeling each other out here. And I got to say again, I said this earlier, just both teams just kind of, I don't know, kind of sleepy a little bit after Thanksgiving Day.
It's the tryptophan.
There's not a lot of fire on either team, I got to admit.
2 backs this time.
They're just focused maybe, huh?
That's it. With conflicting, now they'll move 1 out as Tearing goes in motion. The handoff, though, is to Gooden, and he'll run over a man out to about the 34.
Yeah, that's a new back, Ivan Washington.
Check
with
that.
Yeah, that's his
Good
first
spot.
carry. So Whitehouse picks up a nice 7-yard gain, or 8-yard gain, I should say, 2nd and 2. As the Wildcats, as I said earlier, have kind of changed from a passing team that everybody's always aware of to running the football more in 2020.
Tearing in motion again. This time the handoff.
Nice job.
Again, straight ahead. This time Jacksonville not having it.
Casey, Bryson, say those names a lot. Darian Jones also. Is Casey and Bryson, the two seniors, 3-year starters, both of them, and it's going to be tough to say goodbye to those guys after the next game next week. They've had great careers teaming up on that tackle. 3rd down, about 2.
2 cats in motion. Now the left side is the strong side. The handoff and 1st down yardage.
That's
Washington. For Washington.
Yeah. So Peter Torres for Jacksonville still down now, getting up and getting some help. Looks like he got dinged up a little bit. The Indians need to sub him out. He will check out, and here comes Darian Jones. As Carmelo Claiborne has checked in defensively for Jacksonville. He missed a couple of games because of the COVID, as you know. So he's back, the freshman for Jacksonville.
So now 1st and 10 for the Wildcats from their 42. As Confetti going to look to throw a deep ball to the right side. Had his man, had the Jacksonville coverage beat, but couldn't haul it in.
The double move. The double move on Carmelo Claiborne of Jacksonville, and got to give Claiborne credit. Had the catch been made by number 15, Trevor Thering, Claiborne would have been there to make the tackle, but he did get beat. But he did a nice recovery, and boy, Thering, that's a catchable ball. I mean, you got to make that catch right there. So incomplete as the Wildcats looking at 2nd and 10 now.
10:04 to go here, 2nd quarter. Man in motion right to left. Handoff straight ahead, a little room to run to midfield and into Indian territory.
Well, Jacksonville has just not stopped the run, but a couple of times today.
That's Gooden again.
Yeah.
Jones on the tackle. 1st down, Whitehouse.
It's going to be a long afternoon for Jacksonville if Whitehouse continues to control the clock as they have and running the football as effectively as they have with so many different backs and keeping them fresh. 1st down.
Confetti going to fake the handoff to Gooden. Throws left. Got a man. Got a screen set up to the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. He will score.
Reed Alexander, another sophomore. 48 yards on just a little bubble screen. And Aaron Jacksonville just poor tackling. 2 players had a shot at him, and they just whiffed. The first one was Caleb Clayton, and then no help from the safety for Jacksonville with Rivers. Whitehouse on the board with their 2nd score.
Back in that swinging gate, which really isn't a swinging gate, but now they'll shift into their kicking formation. Extra point attempt is brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty, and this one is good. So with 9:23 to go, 2nd quarter, our score now, Whitehouse 14, Jacksonville 7. We'll take a short break and come back for more Fightin' Indian football here on JHS-sports.com.
Hi, this is Ben Peacock, proud principal of Jacksonville High School. On behalf of the awesome students and staff members at JHS, I'd like to say thank you for watching tonight's game. From exceptional academics to a robust catalog of extracurricular programs, our campus provides a truly impressive array of opportunities for all Jacksonville students. For more information about Jacksonville High School, please visit jisd.org.
Dr. Darwin Dar and his staff at Dar Chiropractic specialize in family chiropractic care, exercise rehab, digital x-rays, nutrition and weight loss programs, decompression, and chiropractic wellness care. Located down the street from the Tomato Bowl, Dar Chiropractic. They can help you feel better.
And we're back live at Wildcat Stadium here in Whitehouse. 9:23 to go, 2nd quarter. As the Wildcats have just doubled up the Fightin' Indians and now lead by a score of 14-7.
Just a methodical drive by the Wildcats, and I mentioned a moment ago how it's going to be a long afternoon for Jacksonville if they don't tackle better. Took some bad angles on that touchdown pass, just a little bubble screen. But there was a good block out there, as Todd pointed out, but you got to make those tackles.
Kickoff, high pop to the left side, fielded cleanly.
Tatum.
As Tatum will get forward for a few out to about the Jacksonville 38.
Yeah, that ball was coming down, and Bryson Tatum, he settled under it. He said, I got this one. And he was no doubt he wasn't going to fair catch it. He's going to scoot up the field. He does for about 7. Jacksonville has had really good field position on their three drives that they've had in this first half so far. This one will start at their 39 as Clater will check back in at quarterback for Jacksonville.
He'll have Rivers on his right side. He'll have 2 receivers out on his left side. Hinojosa back in the backfield with him. And the handoff.
Hinojosa.
Lots of room to run for Dino into Wildcat territory for the big Bill McRae Ford first down inside the 45.
Clearly that's Hinojosa's best run since week 1 of district play against Hallsville as he finally busts one. He's been bottled up the last 3 district ball games, and boy, he popped that one very nicely. And he'll get it into Whitehouse territory at the Wildcat 44.
Indians going to go with an empty backfield, 4 on the left, 1 on the right. Clater going to keep it himself and put his head down and battle down to the 39 of Whitehouse.
Yeah, you go with an empty backfield. You got 4 guys out. You take Hinojosa out of the backfield, hoping that Whitehouse will scoot one of their linebackers out and create a little zone area that Patrick Clater can attack. And I don't think Patrick really sold that well enough. I mean, he just took off instead of pausing a little bit and looking like he was going to throw and maybe a pump fake or something, but he just took off. And the Whitehouse linebackers, they didn't have to go anywhere. They saw what he was going to do. Does pick up a little bit.
So 2nd and 5 now. The ball sitting at about the 40 of the Wildcats. A handoff to Hinojosa, and he loses the ball, and Whitehouse has got it.
Yeah, it's just a tough exchange between Clater and Hinojosa, the 2 seniors talking to each other right now. And it looked like Clater got the ball to Hinojosa, but when Hinojosa started to secure it, somebody for Whitehouse came in and just jumped on Hinojosa, causing the fumble. Another turnover by Jacksonville. It's been plaguing them all year long. Here in week 9, they get another one, their first of the ball game.
So Joey Confletti brings the Cats back to the line with Mikovic Hall back in the backfield with him. Trips right, 1 left, go the receivers. Now a little bit of readjusting the play. And there's the flag. Wayne Coleman called that one.
Yeah, he's saying, that's the way of the game, isn't it? And sure enough, no timeout by Marcus Gold of Whitehouse. He'll take the 5-yard penalty. So first down and 15 now for the Cats at their own. They'll back it up to their own 40.
Stay in the same look. Will the Cats, 3 on the right, 1 on the left. Handoff is to Hall, and he will make his way to the 45. Push out to about the 47. He moves the pile.
Yeah, loses his helmet, so that's Mikovic Hall will have to check out. Losing it on the tackle. As Clayton comes up on the tackle, check that. Cameron Fuller is the one who stripped his helmet off for Jacksonville. So 2nd down, 8 to go as Hall gets 7 of the yards back when it was 1st and 10. Now after the penalty, it's now 2nd and 8.
So Matthew Gooden checks back into the backfield for the Cats. A little high snap. But Confletti hands it off to Gooden. Jacksonville all over him.
Bryson Tatum, what a nice form tackle. If you're going to put that up on the screen and show your younger players, guys, here's how you tackle. You square up and you just get underneath their pads and you put them down. 3rd and 7, 1-yard gain for Whitehouse.
Jacksonville showing a little bit of pressure. And now they're going to have to take the timeout.
Yeah, confusion defensively for Jacksonville. As Jason Shuck, the secondary coach, wanting to know why their secondary were switching. So Jacksonville's going to burn their 2nd timeout. Aaron, let's take a break.
We'll step away with them and come back. You're listening to Fightin' Indian Football on JHS-Sports.com.
As ETMC joins the UT Health family, we're bringing a new vision of healthcare to East Texas. where the brightest minds in academics and medicine work together to treat the most complex health challenges and improve lives, where access to world-class medicine and cutting-edge technology will bring health, hope, and a brighter tomorrow. We are UT Health East Texas, advancing healthcare together.
Bill McRae Ford has been serving East Texans since 1976. They can help you find the best deal on a used car, or if you're ready to purchase something new. Open Monday through Saturday. Bill McRae Ford. Come see us.
And we're back after the Indian timeout as the defense gets their issues straightened away. 3rd down and 7 now for Whitehouse. Conflitti drops back to pass and flings it away to the left. It's incomplete over everybody.
Carson Cleaver getting pressure on Conflitti, and that ball just came out kind of funny as Conflitti felt Cleaver breathing down his neck, and he overthrows his sophomore receiver Wilson. As Rivers coming over on the coverage, Jacksonville gets the 3 and out. As the fumble by Clater a moment ago on the botched zone read when he kept the ball, and so now Whitehouse is going back into position here. They look like they're going for it, Aaron.
Yeah, Jones is still back there deep. Let's see.
That's strange. They had a deep snapper. It looked like he was going to pop it deep, and nobody back there. And Marcus Gold looks like he's going to burn his first timeout for Whitehouse. Unless was that Jacksonville? No,
it was
Whitehouse.
It was Whitehouse, yep. Yeah. So yeah, it didn't look like Whitehouse knew exactly what they wanted to do.
No, they didn't, and they had everybody in, and all of a sudden the punter shifted, and I think that Marcus Gold wanted to see, okay, when we shift to this, what is Jacksonville going to do defensively? And had Jacksonville shifted to adjust to the punter coming out and going out into a wideout position, maybe they would have snapped the ball, but Jacksonville didn't do it. Stayed home, stayed where they were supposed to be, and he had to burn a timeout. 14-7 Whitehouse. As the wind has kind of picked up, Aaron, I know we were going to get a wind shift out of the north. A little bit cooler. It's probably cooled down at least 5 or 6 degrees since we've been here. So now Whitehouse will send out their punting unit again that they shifted out of. It'll be Landon Elliott to punt for Whitehouse. Darian Jones dropping back for Jacksonville.
Jones will be standing about his 20 as Elliott puts the boot to it. Jones has to come up, but he fields it cleanly, and then he is taken off his feet about the 32.
Boy, Darian Jones, he is a fearless punt returner. I mean, he steps up into the mixed master where there were 3 Wildcats just beating down on him. He said, I don't care, I'm stepping in. I'm not fair catching this. I'm going to go right through you guys, make this catch. And then he goes about 6 or 7 yards up the field. So instead of the ball bouncing and maybe going inside Jacksonville's 15, Darian catches it on the fly, returns it up to the Jacksonville 32. Here's Clater with Dino beside him in the backfield.
Clater going to hand off to Hinojosa, who's going to have to try to stretch the play to the right, and we've talked about it before. At 5A football, very rarely can you do that.
Tough. It's really tough to do, especially in East Texas where a lot of the speed is. You see that. You play teams like Marshall, Texas High. They're going to run you down like that. But Hinojosa did a good thing there, Aaron. He saw that. He planted that right foot, gets up the field for 3,
yeah,
2nd and 7.
He tucked it back in when he realized
I'm not going to outrun these guys.
Yeah. So now Clater drops back. Got a little bit of time looking for McEwen.
Got him.
His first touch of the ball game as he takes it down to about the 43-yard line of Jacksonville. That'll move the chains for a Bill McRae Ford first down.
We talked last week how Devin McEwen only had a couple touches, and that's something that you got to keep up with. I mean, you got to get the ball to your playmakers, and regardless if the other team's keying on him, figure it out. Get him the ball. He makes plays. There's McEwen with his first catch of the game.
So we'll go toward the 6-minute mark. 2 Indian receivers each way. McEwen was in motion, and Clater ends up keeping it and not getting anywhere. And there was some confusion as McEwen looked back as if he thought he was going to get the ball.
Yeah, check that. That was McEwen's second touch of the game. He had a catch earlier from Ryan McCown. But to your point, and Todd, you saw this again. I know where you're seeing it, but Clater's got to make a better decision if he's going to pull that. He almost had another fumble right there on that pull. McEwen was taking the football, and Patrick just ripped it away from him, and he almost lost it. Lost it 2, 2nd and 12.
So now Clater hands off to Hinojosa, who almost slips. Gets a few.
We got somebody down. Who's that? Aiden Gay. He's getting up. Okay.
He's up. He's all right.
Yep. Looked like he sure paused for a moment there, like he was hurt. He's still kind of got his hands on his hips like something's up, but he's going to stay in. So no gain on the play. 3rd down. Actually about 2 yards, I should say. 3rd and 10 now for Jacksonville as we go under 5 minutes in the second quarter. Whitehouse was still with that 14-7 lead.
So Clater's got 2 receivers left, 1 right. Hinojosa's the back. Clater looking left, throwing.
McEwen.
And he's got it to McEwen for a few.
Yeah, McEwen frustrated right there, and just they are doubling him up. I mean, everybody knows that by this time, this sophomore he's the guy they want to get the ball to. Texas High knew that last week, and again, the 2 touches we talked about. Devin makes his 3rd catch, but it only gets about 4 yards. 4th down and 8, and here comes Darian Jones on to punt the football.
Whitehouse return man will stand about his 24, so we'll see if Jones can get a hold of another one. Low snap, but he's able to pick it up, but the kick away is not a great one.
Yeah, he lost his footing. I mean, it's a little slick down here on this turf, and this is not the long blade. Let me describe this turf on the field. Quite different than Tomato Bowl. Tomato Bowl has the long blades. This is a much shorter blade turf here at Whitehouse, and I've seen several players slipping a little bit, and that time Darian Jones slipped enough to where he just didn't get a good swing on the ball. So 1st down for Whitehouse at their own 32.
So Gooden, the back with Joey Conflitti. Conflitti gets the play from the sideline, now ready to go. He'll hand it off to Gooden. He'll stretch the play to the right side. Good blocking out there. 1st down yardage, and he's finally thrown down at about the 46.
Yeah, great blocking, Aaron, as you said. This stretch play there, designed that way and trying to get Gooden to the outside, and that play doesn't work at all if you don't get good blocking with your on that type of a stretch play, and they got it for the 1st down.
So 4:10 and counting here in the first half. Conflitti takes his time getting the play. Now another handoff to Gooden. Up the middle he goes into Jacksonville territory, farther down to about the 37.
Yeah, Kevin Hernandez of Jacksonville, who had a pretty good first half defensively, had a crack at Gooden, and Gooden just kind of spun out of his tackle. And Gooden about 5 foot, he's about 5'6", if maybe 5'5". He's not very tall. He is definitely vertically challenged. Hard to find back there, a lot like Dina Hinojosa. He scoots up the field for another Whitehouse 1st down to the Jacks 37.
Now men in motion from the right to the left, gets the jet sweep pitch and some room to run up the middle. See if Jacksonville can haul him down, and that's Tearing, and they finally will, but he's not thrown down until he's out of bounds, and of course that's going to draw a flag.
Oh my goodness. Devin McEwen comes up, makes a good defensive play. He's slinging him down, waiting for help, and he slings him out of bounds, and just when Tearing gets his feet on the white chalk on the sideline, here comes Bryson Tatum, hits him out of bounds. And check me, Todd, if you see it was somebody else. I don't want to accuse Bryson. I just saw him kind of get up out of there. Could have been somebody else.
It was Bryson, but when Bryson made contact, he's still on the field. The officials he's calling it because it's on the Whitehouse sideline.
Yeah, it was right in front of their bench, and the Whitehouse coaches
Devin
were screaming.
almost had him down, but he lost his grip. So if Bryson hadn't hit him, he's running.
Okay. Well, third consecutive 1st down for Whitehouse to the Jacksonville 20.
Conflitti fakes the handoff this time. Now drops back, now rolling right. Here comes some pressure, and he'll fling it away complete.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
How can you not cover that?
Talk about making something out of nothing.
There was nobody. I mean, you had your progression down. Tatum's about to get the sack. He gets right in Conflitti's face, and somebody breaks away from the – you got to stay on the gray shirt. Don't leave him. Pick up 7, 2nd and 3.
Two in motion, right to left. Conflitti hands it off again. Inside the 5 go the Cats.
So a nice mixture of throwing the football and running the football. Whitehouse starting to assert themselves as Jacksonville's defense getting a little weary here with 2:35 remaining in the first half, as the offense for Jacksonville just has been unable to keep them off the field any.
Gooden stays in the backfield with Conflitti. They're going to take their time to get the play. Conflitti hands it off to Gooden, and he spun down. Let's see if they stopped him short.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, he's just outside the goal line on the spin. Knee hit the turf. Rivers checks in. You know, not big plays by Whitehouse. I mean, it's not like they're striking you big and in a hurry like T. High did last week. Just very methodically move the ball down the field, does Whitehouse. And I just feel like they're going to make me pay for saying they're not that good at 7-1, huh? They're starting to kind of assert themselves here.
So now, again, 2 men in motion, right to left. Conflitti, high snap, gets away from him.
Big break
and
for Jackson.
Golden just had to fall on it.
Cleaver gets there and makes sure that Golden doesn't do anything with it. So Gooden, I should say, not Golden, Gooden.
Gooden, excuse me.
Yep. So Jacksonville gets a bit of a break there. 3rd down and goal. Now at the Jacksonville 13. So you got a little space here for your defense, a little breathing room. So get your reads. Don't let anybody slip screen you. And you got to get some penetration from your front 4. Front 3 for Jacksonville. You got to get in the backfield. You got to slow Gooden down if he's the one that gets the ball here. So Whitehouse now letting the clock run down. They're going to use all this clock before they burn this timeout. They'll stop it with 47 seconds remaining.
Fans, be sure to stay with us at halftime. We'll have the Whataburger halftime report that'll feature first half stats that are brought to you by Randy Gorham, CPA. Randy's been your hometown CPA in Jacksonville since 1984. And, of course, our friends at Whataburger sponsoring the halftime report wants you to know that if you make the order, Whataburger makes it fresh.
Yeah, it'd be such a huge thing right here, Aaron, if Jacksonville could somehow figure out a way to, prevent the touchdown here. So this is an interesting call from Marcus Gold. He's, he had 1st and goal at the 1 yard. Just outside the goal line, and they had the bad snap, and now they're looking at 3rd and goal at their 13 of Jacksonville. Check that, yeah. At the 8, excuse me, not 13. I'm off just 5 yards. So the officials blow their whistle, and let's see what the Wildcats will do on 3rd and goal from the Jacksonville 8-yard line, obviously in field goal position should they not make this. But, boy, if you're Jacksonville, man, if you can come away with just giving up 3 points here, that'd be huge.
Timeout, Jacksonville. You heard head coach Wayne Coleman with the call.
Little chess game going on here, huh? That's Jacksonville's 3rd and final timeout. So Jacksonville gets the ball back here. They can't stop it, so I'm not sure they'd want to. So, Aaron, let's take a break right here.
We'll step away. You're listening to Fightin Indian Football on JHS-sports.com.
Our one-of-a-kind mushroom Swiss burger is back.
And now it's an all-time favorite.
You're going to love this burger. That au jus sauce on top.
The creamy au jus sauce.
Every bite's perfect.
It's not just a mushroom Swiss burger. It's a Whataburger mushroom Swiss burger.
Hi, I'm Matt Montgomery. For the past 37 years, I've been helping people just like you get their financial ducks in a row. I'm a registered investment advisor and chartered financial consultant. We do portfolio management and comprehensive financial planning. Give me a call or for a free consultation.
If you walk through the Tomato Bowl, you've seen the beautiful large photos and arrowheads as well as signage around the stadium. Eric and Kathleen Stanfield can print large format images on metal, glass, and wood, and they do a lot more. Visit their showroom and see for yourself. Congratulations in Jacksonville, sponsors of the Play of the Game Award.
And we are back after the Jacksonville timeout. Let's see if the Fightin Indian defense has drawn up a play to stop the Wildcats on a 3rd and goal from the 8. Conflitti, the quarterback, is in there with Gooden, Matthew Gooden. Trips right, go the receivers, one left, and the one left is the one who gets the screen, and he scores. That is Reed Alexander for his 2nd of the ball game.
Boy, Jacksonville did such a good job getting pressure on Conflitti as Kennedy and Torres come in, and Kennedy on the blitz, Torres on the backside blitz. You think, oh, we got him. And boy, Conflitti does a great job just getting rid of the ball, and Alexander goes in from 8 yards for the 3rd Whitehouse touchdown.
So now the Wildcats back into the extra point formation. The extra points brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty. Kick is on the way and good. So with 40 seconds to go here in the first half, the score now Whitehouse 21, Jacksonville 7. We'll take a short break and come back for more Fightin Indian football on jhs-sports.com.
Let's celebrate the homegrown tomatoes, who today are cultivating the next crop of Jacksonville's finest. We are so proud of our faculty and staff in Jacksonville Independent School District. People like Mrs. Jan Gowen, a legendary biology instructor who has produced 62 doctors, 150 nurses, and hundreds of others in the medical community. Put your hands together for Mrs. Gowen and for all the educators investing in the futures of our Jacksonville children.
Since 2004, Legends Old Time Burger Cafe has been the home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburgers. Hand-battered chicken strips, chicken fried steak, fries, and onion rings are the best around. Legends, home of Jacksonville's best old-fashioned hamburger.
And we're back live to Wildcat Stadium in Whitehouse, where just before halftime, Whitehouse has extended their lead to 2 scores, 21-7 now. We'll see if the Fightin Indians can put together a kick return here. They're going to boot this one short, though, with the Wildcats, and it'll be fair caught on the near side.
Casey?
By Kennedy, and so see what Jacksonville does with these last 40 seconds.
Well, no timeouts for Jacksonville. They've got the win, so you can take a shot downfield. You got your burners, you got Rivers, and of course Devin McEwen, of course, and you got some guys that can get downfield and maybe get behind somebody. So Jacksonville now will come out with 40.9 seconds on the clock, no timeouts. They'll start here at their 35.
They'll have 3 receivers on the right, one on the left, one on the right, excuse me, as Clater going to look for one of those receivers, but he can't find him and he goes down.
Just throw it, man.
Marshall Johnson.
Got to get rid of it. You got to plant your foot. You got to go. Throw it up to your athletes. I mean, he had McEwen going down the middle. You got Rivers on the right side. I mean, you got 40 seconds, and, of course, the clock's going to run out right here. And just take a shot. I mean, what's the worst thing? It's a punt, kind of like a punt. It could be incomplete. You get another shot. So they're just going to let the clock run out here, and we'll get Wayne Coleman here on the All Smiles halftime report.
And so at the half, our score, Whitehouse 21, Jacksonville 7. Matt, we'll keep it down there with you and Coach Coleman.
Okay, Coach Coleman said it's going to be a 20-minute halftime, guys. It's going to be a little bit quicker here. So, Coach, man, if you could have kept them out right there on that 4th down and 8, that 3rd and 8, excuse me, that would have been crucial. But they get the score, not out of control just yet, but they just have been methodical the way they move the ball up and down the field.
Yeah, they're running the ball way too easily on us right now. We got to get that fixed.
Yeah, offensively, that's part of the problem too, Coach. You just can't get any continuity after that first drive. You got the score, and then, boy, it's not anything that Whitehouse is really doing a lot to me, defensively. What do you think? I mean, it looks like we're just not executing well on offense.
They have done a good job of covering some routes and forcing our quarterback to scramble. It's not pass pressure. It's good coverage, and then we're having to pull the ball down and try to make a play.
So in the second half, Coach, what kind of adjustments can you make if they are covering you that well?
You got to be able to run the ball, and we had a few decent, 10-yard runs there. We got to be more consistent with that.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Head Coach Wayne Coleman on the All Smiles halftime interview. Appreciate All Smiles sponsoring all of our conversations with Head Coach Wayne Coleman. Aaron, I'm going to throw it up to you guys.
Thanks, Matt. And this is the Whataburger Halftime Report. We'll remind you, you make the order, and Whataburger makes it fresh. We'll let you listen in now to the Whitehouse High School Band. This is going to be a little bit quicker halftime, as Matt alluded to, just a 20-minute halftime. So we'll listen to the band a little bit here, and then we will have our first half stats that are brought to you by Randy Gorham, CPA, and Todd Travis will be along to bring us our stats. But for now, let's keep it down at the field mic level and listen in to the Whitehouse High School Wildcat Band.
The First Ladies would like to thank all of their supporters. First Ladies Forever, Whitehouse ISD, family, and friends for your continued support of their program. We believe that supportive relationships are the foundation of learning. Our First Ladies of the Week are Christasia Stearns and Claire Casanova. Backed by popular demand, the First Ladies will be dancing with their heroes to Boot Scootin' Boogie. The ladies would like to thank their heroes for their love, guidance, and financial support. The First Ladies are under the direction of Kayla Norman and assisted by Lacey Van Busker. Introducing now, the Whitehouse High School Majorettes. This afternoon, the Majorettes will perform to Seven Nation Army. Now let's hear it for our Wildcats as the band leads us in the fight song.
And that was the Whitehouse High School Band with their halftime performance. They're now all congregated in the end zone and not exactly social distancing, guys. for a band that took all the precautions they did to spread out over the entire Jacksonville side, this is interesting. But be that as it may, it is time to go over the first half stats. First half stats are brought to you by Randy Gorham, your hometown CPA in Jacksonville. He's been helping folks with their accounting and tax needs in Jacksonville since 1984. We'd like to thank Randy for his constant support of Fightin Indian football. We'll bring Todd Travis back in to talk about the first half stats that, Todd, really aren't going the way of the Indians.
Oh, my. Yep, our Indians for the first half had 70 yards of total offense on 20 plays. 67 yards passing, 3 yards rushing.
That won't get it done.
We had 5 first downs with 1 rushing first down and 3 passing. And we were 1 out of 4 on third downs. Individual stats for the first half. Patrick Clater had 2 completions on 5 attempts for 48 yards and 1 touchdown. And Ryan McCowan had 4 completions on 4 attempts for 19 yards. Okay. Guess that's right. And rushing, Hinojosa had 5 carries for 22 yards. Clater had 4 carries for -2, and McCowan had the 2 sacks for a loss of 17 yards.
Yeah, so Jacksonville just really unable to get it going after that first drive, Todd, where obviously they scored. But even those first few offensive plays were none too special, as we were discussing as the drive was unfolding.
The touchdown was great. That was a really nice play. But, yeah, before that, we really didn't move the ball. So
yeah, it's kind of cliche to say that when you have 1 touchdown, that your 1 touchdown was your best offensive play of the half, but it was really one of the only positive ones.
It was, yeah. And that's, it seems like when we throw the ball to Pinson, he scores. But I guess we need to get the ball to him more often.
Well, we've
talked about McEwen. We need to get the ball in his hands.
You saw the second attempt to Pinson after he scored, how he got mauled, and there was no call.
No flag, but clearly was being held.
It's like Whitehouse knows what we know, that all Tony Pinson does is catch touchdown passes.
That's true. And McEwen as well, huh? He's kind of
he's been
double teaming,
kept in check, and you've seen the results of that. But yeah, so 2-score deficit, but really in the grand scheme of things, Indians seem to be in a bigger hole than that.
They do. I guess I should have realized we weren't moving the ball that well in the first half, but the stats definitely show that.
On the other hand, there's Whitehouse.
You want to look at their stats?
Yeah, let's do that.
Whitehouse had 222 yards of offense in the first half.
My segues are not very strong today, Todd. I apologize.
You did fine. Passing 81 yards and 141 yards rushing. Their quarterback, Conflitti, had 5 completions on 8 attempts for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. Their leading rusher, Gooden, with 13 carries for 102 yards in the first half.
Wow.
Hall had 5 carries for 24. Washington, 3 for 16. So a number of different backs are involved.
I'm trying to think back over the games to this point. I'm not sure Jacksonville has had very many, if any, 100-yard rushing games for a player. In fact, I can't think of one, and here's Gooden with 100 in the first half.
In the first half, yeah. Well, most of the teams have been throwing the ball, and
Whitehouse obviously
is just sitting back and running it. So
yeah, their approach is different, and as Matt had been talking about, when you think about Whitehouse, if all you know about Whitehouse is Patrick Mahomes, which obviously for good reason a lot of people associate his time here with the offenses they were running in those days. And I say running, they were really passing all over the place. But since these last few years with Marcus Gold, we are seeing a big change in the approach to the game for Whitehouse, and boy, they're controlling.
They are trying to control the clock, and so time of possession, they had 14 and a half minutes that first half, so more than a single quarter.
Yeah,
worth of time possession there. So,
well, and when you can capitalize on some of those drives, and then you just get to keep the other offense off the field, obviously you're seeing the results on the scoreboard. If we know, and we've talked about over and over this season, if nothing else, we know this Jacksonville team can score, And so Whitehouse taking the approach that says that the best defense is a good offense, just holding on to the ball.
Hold on to the ball.
And so far, it's got them staked to a 2-score lead.
Yeah, I was hoping we could keep it 14-7 there at the half, but going down by 2 and Whitehouse going to get the ball to start the second half.
That's not where you want to be, especially knowing that
when you're not moving the ball.
You're giving
well.
them the ball and they're moving the ball as well as they are, and then Jacksonville just the inability to stop the run is really, I think, is a concern. Just looking, these late games, these late season games are interesting when your JV players start to come up. You start to see about 2 or 3 different looks in terms of helmets. I'm looking down at Jacksonville. I'm seeing some plain blue.
There are a few plain ones.
Some plain blue helmets, and Whitehouse has 2 or 3 different designs going. You can tell the guys that have been on the varsity all season, and those
I think they got a few JV they moved up to.
Those who have some of the hand-me-down gear, if you will. And so the team's coming back out and warming up, and as you said, Todd, Whitehouse will be getting the ball. And so really I think it'll be imperative for Jacksonville to get a stop on this first drive. I mean, you've got to figure out a way to kind of flip this momentum a little bit, because Whitehouse has just been able to do just about whatever they wanted to do.
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll see what Jacksonville's defensive coordinator Kenny Kennedy has up his sleeve as the Wildcats and the Tribe take the field. We get ready to go here in the second half. Matt Montgomery, I see, is back down there with us.
Yes, sir. Jacksonville now on the sideline, as Whitehouse is as well. And guys, I didn't get to hear all the statistics, but I knew time of possession. I caught that last one there, and yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. This reminds me a lot of the Nacogdoches game where Jacksonville offensively just hasn't been able to move the football, or even keep control of the football. And there's time of possession can be overrated when you have a team that can score quickly. There's a lot of teams that score a lot of points and they don't win time of possession because they score fast. Well, that's not Whitehouse today. They have time of possession. They are scoring methodically and slowly. And Jacksonville is other than that first score, they've just been, just inept. It's not just the only way to say it. And as Wayne Coleman said in his All Smiles halftime interview, is that give Whitehouse credit. They're really doing a good job in the secondary and covering everybody up and forcing us to run the football, and Jacksonville has been unable to answer the bell running the ball at all.
Yeah, Matt, we were talking about Matthew Gooden for Whitehouse has 102 yards in the first half running the ball. I don't think Jacksonville's had a 100-yard rushing game from a player.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel that bad at 21-7. Here's the second half kickoff, Solano for Jacksonville.
It's popped up to the far side, fair caught at the 35 of Whitehouse, and that's where they'll start.
So the Wildcats, after deferring, that when you toss that coin and you defer, and then you're up 21-7, you score here. You stole that coin flip. That's what you want to do. That's why you do that. And Whitehouse felt pretty comfortable putting their defense on the field, but what happened? Jacksonville scored on their opening possession, but since then, it's been nothing. So here's Whitehouse to start the second half at their own 36, we'll call it.
So Conflitti back out with Gooden. A couple of receivers on his left, one on his right. Man in motion from the right. And now the handoff goes to Gooden straight ahead, and he will barrel his way out to the 47 of Whitehouse, and that'll be good for the first down.
At some point, you're a defensive lineman. You can't do penetration. You got to slide down the line of scrimmage. And that time Cleaver got up the field, beat his block. The guy ran right by him. You got to slide down the line of scrimmage to that spot where you think he's going and keep your position. It doesn't matter if you get vertical if he goes right by you.
So Conflitti now takes a snap, hands it off again to Gooden right up the middle. And he's down to the Jacksonville 45-yard line. So just like that, 2 plays, and the Wildcats into Indian territory.
Yeah, great block by Garrett Fightin, that 6'2", 240-pound senior. That was the guy we talked about when they were tossing the coin, how big he was. He just knocked Bryson Tatum for Jacksonville out of the play.
So 2 receivers left, 1 right. The back is still Gooden. And he's got it again. He's got his legs cut out from under him that time.
Tatum, nice. Got off the block, did Tatum, as Jackson Concert couldn't keep his block on Tatum, as the 175-pound senior Tatum gets off the block and makes a nice tackle. 3rd down, 1 now.
So we'll see if the Jacksonville defense can make a stop. Handoff again, Gooden up the middle. 1st down yardage and more. Down to the Jacksonville 35 he goes.
So the 3rd down conversion ratio for Whitehouse, I don't even have to see the stats for that, but I think it's pretty good. I mean, obviously before the half ended, they converted a 3rd and 8 for a touchdown. So there's one that was scored on. These Fightin Indians will bring in number 27, Huddleston, who's been out for several weeks with an injury, checking in for Jacksonville defensively at right tackle.
So we'll go down under the 10-minute mark. The snap, the handoff, a little strange exchange there. Not much going for the running play.
Yeah, it was Micah McCall, Aaron, and he just hesitated. And again, he's a 10th grader, and I guess he's used to running east and west, but he started running east and west, and all of a sudden there's Peter Torres and there's Tatum, and he said, what am I going to do now? And he just kind of stopped where he was, didn't he? Falls forward for 1, though, 2nd and 9.
So now, Cat's going to look to put this one in the air. There's a push-off down there. Let's see who pushed who.
Yeah, they're going to get Mallard for holding. The junior Isaiah Mallard for Jacksonville clearly held, as it was Thiering going right by him. And just like Jacksonville got called earlier on a penalty on that on Thiering when he was gone. Actually, it wasn't a penalty. He just dropped it. But he beat Mallard on the play, and Mallard reached out and grabbed him. See if they call the hold or the interference.
Well, it looked to me, and it will be interference on Jacksonville. It looked to me after the initial push from Mallard that Thiering got a little bit too.
And that's why I thought it was a hold, Aaron. I mean, they called it pass interference. And, there's a difference because when it's an if it's an interference penalty and it's an uncatchable football, which I felt that one was, then it's a little bit different than the hold. So it's 1st and 10 nevertheless. They call interference. Pushes the ball down to Jacksonville's 19 on the opening drive of the second half. Whitehouse is putting themselves in pretty good position here in Jacksonville's red zone.
Matthew Gooden still in at the back. Now Thiering in motion. Handoff is faked. Conflitti will keep, and he doesn't get past Isaiah Mallard.
Yeah, Mallard, nice open field tackle by Isaiah, breaking down, and that's how you do that's how you make an open field tackle. You got to get your breakdown, you got to get your center, and then you just get under the pads and form tackle him. That's exactly what Mallard did. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Going to 9 minutes here in the 3rd quarter of play as Conflitti looks to the sideline to get the play. And, of course, Whitehouse content to use as much clock as possible. So Conflitti hands off to Gooden. Left side stretch this time as Gooden spins and is dropped at about the Jacksonville 11. He looked to spin back off the tackle and make his way inside the 10, Matt, but not able to get away.
Yeah, he'll check out of the ball game, and it'll be Washington checking in for Gooden after he'll pick up about 9 on the play. It's 3rd and 2 at the Jacksonville 11. Opening drive of the second half as Whitehouse has chewed up almost 4 minutes already in this 3rd quarter on the opening drive.
Whistles blow this one dead.
Going to be procedure against Whitehouse. As they had a man in motion, and he looked like he may have been moving toward the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped, and that's going to be the penalty. So it makes it 3rd down and 7 now. A little bit better for your defense. Although Jacksonville has got to watch that. Whitehouse on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. They've been very successful with those bubble screens today. 2 of them have been for touchdowns. So let's see the offensive set here on 3rd and 7 from the Jacksonville 16 for Whitehouse.
They'll have 2 receivers each way for Conflitti to choose from, and he will look over the middle on a slant.
Perfect pass.
And
incomplete.
Just incomplete.
I mean, just threaded the needle. And Conflitti, perfect pass to number 8 to Carlton Wilson. He made a spectacular catch. Remember in that first quarter that set up the first touchdown. That one, he just whiffed on him. It hit him right in the hands. And he drops it. So now Marcus Gold will send out his field goal unit. Ben Harris will spot the ball at the 27. So it'll be a 38-yarder. Or what is that? No, it's 32 yards, excuse me. He missed it.
And Harris's kick is no good.
From 32, Harris misses it.
So the Fightin Indians hold with 7:42 to go third quarter.
Man.
Our score, Whitehouse 21, Jacksonville 7. And you bend but don't break if you're the Jacksonville defense there. That's exactly what they needed, though.
Yeah, and you know, when you get in the red zone like that, if you can get some help, like a penalty like that, man, a dropped pass, and then you get the missed field goal, you got a little life there. I mean, take advantage of that right here. If you're Jacksonville, you got the ball starting at your own 20.
So Clater looks to throw, deep ball, far side intercepted. And just like that, the Cats in business in the red zone again.
Yeah, Jaden Brandon just playing center field back there. It's the safety position. It was a cover 2 right there, and the corners were playing short. They were going to take away the flat safeties have over the top, split the backfield. Great play, and just a ball that was, I don't really think that Patrick Clater saw Jaden Brandon jump in front of McEwen. I mean, he just threw it up there for McEwen and did not even read the safety coming over the top. He gets the pick. Jacksonville's second turnover of the ball game.
And so Whitehouse right back to work. Conflitti with Gooden in the backfield on the Jacksonville 20. Handoff is to Gooden, and he gets ahead for a few.
Casey Kennedy with a tackle. You know, and after you get a stop like that, you miss field goal, Whitehouse may be emotionally down. You want to take a shot downfield. That really wasn't a shot downfield as much as was like an out route. Boy, Whitehouse played it well, gets the pick. 2nd down, 8.
2 receivers each way. The Cats will go under 7 minutes before they snap this one here in the third quarter. Conflitti keeps, rolls right, looks, fires complete, down inside the 10. As Wilson.
Yep, Wilson.
Makes what I believe is his first catch of the ball game.
No, it's Wilson. He's caught a couple. DeCarton Wilson's the one.
Check that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that dropped the touchdown a minute ago.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah. But it's first and goal. First down and goal at the 8.
And now the handoff to Gooden. Straight ahead he goes.
Flag.
And that'll probably be coming back. Surely an offensive penalty, Matt.
They threw it right in the teeth right there where they call holding, and it wasn't any hesitation by the back judge. And it is going to be holding against Whitehouse, and perhaps that's why Gooden tiptoed into the end zone so easily, as Jacksonville now will be the beneficiary of another penalty. And that previous drive before the interception that Clater threw, they got a penalty that helped them, and see if this one does. On the holding penalty, it'll stay first down and goal, but now it's back at the 18. Huddleston will check back in for Jacksonville on defense.
Trips left, 1 right, go the Wildcat receivers. Conflitti looks right for Thiering. He's got him, and he's in. Touchdown.
Boy, what a rocket throw right there. And I tell you, Peter Torres for Jacksonville, Aaron, he came so close to batting that ball down at the line of scrimmage. That football, you know, he had both arms up, did Peter Torres, and the ball went right between them. I mean, he almost knocked it down. Nevertheless, it's a touchdown for Whitehouse from 18 yards out as Thiering makes the catch on the slant for the score. And here's Ben Harris to try to tack on point number 28.
Extra points are brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty. Harris, who just missed the extra point, the field goal, makes the extra point. So with 6:18 to go third quarter, our score, Whitehouse 28, Jacksonville 7. We'll take a short break and come back. You're listening to Fightin' Indian Football on JHS-sports.com.
Dr. Darwin Dar and his staff at Dar Chiropractic specialize in family chiropractic care, exercise rehab, digital x-rays, nutrition and weight loss programs, decompression, and chiropractic wellness care. Located down the street from the Tomato Bowl, Dar Chiropractic. They can help you feel better. Since 1953, Hubert Glass Oil has been serving East Texans the finest automotive fuels and lubricants. Hubert Glass Oil Company, the clear solution for your business. Since 1952, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has been protecting their customers with life, auto, and homeowners insurance. Call Micah Hoffpower in the Jacksonville office at 903-586-9809. Micah's years of experience will help you find the right coverage for you and your family.
And we are back at Wildcat Stadium in Whitehouse, where the home team has expanded their lead to 28-7. And Matt, if you're Jacksonville, you can feel this one beginning to slip a little bit.
Yep, another turnover by Jacksonville. The other team converts into a score. How many of those have we seen in 2020? A lot.
So now the kick is on the way. And this one will bounce into the end zone for a touchback, as Isaiah Mallard thought better about trying to field that one.
Yeah, for the first time, thought Mallard might have a chance to do what he does best, and that's return kickoffs. Bounces into the end zone. Good decision by Isaiah, not trying to chase that down and force his hand. So plenty of time left, 6:16 left in the third. But, you know, Jacksonville's going to have to play from here on out, guys, error-free football. There's just so many possessions left in a second half with a team like Whitehouse that runs the ball well. They can just run the clock out. They're going to bring this back and punt it, kick it again, as Whitehouse apparently was offsides, so Jacksonville's going to take the penalty, try to get some better field position out of that. So you can't have any mistakes from this point forward. Your offense has got to score every time it touches the ball, because, as I said, with the third quarter half over, you got a quarter and a half now. How many more possessions are you going to get to make up 3 scores? The holes we dig for ourselves sometimes, huh?
That has unfortunately been the case all too often this year.
Yeah. What do you think in the offseason that turnovers are going to be something that Jacksonville will have to address, huh?
You would think so. So now the kick on the way. This one short, caught on the near side, and Jones wanted to return it, but Whitehouse had other ideas.
Yeah, Jones didn't have a chance there. He's had such a great game as Darian Jones, but not there. They were on him. So Jacksonville will get the football at their 30. And on those pop-ups, you want them to go between the 20 and the 30 and try to cause a fumble on a high pop. That wasn't that high right there. That just good coverage by Whitehouse. So Jacksonville now will take over. Clater's still in the ballgame at quarterback. I do expect to see Ryan McCown some more here in a few minutes.
So now Clater, a handoff, not much there for Hinojosa.
Wow. It just isn't there. I mean, running the football has just been something that, you know, I got to say, this is as tough or as least productive, let me say, a rushing football team in Jacksonville that I've seen in a long time, guys. I mean, I thought last year was bad. This year's, it hasn't been much improvement running the football.
So now Clater with 2 backs. He's going to flip it out to the left side. It's complete. There's a flag on the play.
Now they threw it right in that holding area where Clater's pass completed to Casey Kennedy for a nice gain of a first down, actually, but it's going to come back.
And waiting for the call.
Chop block.
It's a chop block against Jacksonville.
Okay. It was it was obviously the official felt pretty strong about it because he threw that flag with some authority. Like, uh-oh, you can't do that. Boom. I mean, he had some smoke on that flag. Speaking of rushing yards, our trivia question this week, everybody ought to be interested in this one. It's about running the football in Jacksonville history, so stay tuned for that. We'll get to that as we start the fourth quarter in 5 minutes and 34 and counting on this clock in the third quarter.
So Clater's got 2 receivers each way stacked and now going to empty the backfield. And he'll step up in the pocket. Now roll right, look, fire, wide open man.
Pinson.
That's a first down. Tony Pinson comes up.
Got a flag in the backfield.
There's a flag. Yeah.
Going to have holding on Jacksonville. Good Lord. Pinson made a nice adjustment getting downfield and breaking his route once he saw the safety commit, and Clater scrambling out of the pocket, moving the pocket, and they're going to get a Jacksonville offensive lineman for holding here. So that'll negate. Otherwise, would have been Jacksonville's probably the biggest gain they've had since the Tony Pinson touchdown in the first quarter. And that one was to Pinson, and it came back. So second down, 26 for Jacksonville.
And more than that, it's 32.
Oh, there we go. That's, I don't think it's that far.
So Clater looks to fling left for Hinojosa, and looked like they were on 2 different pages.
I'm doing the measurement here, Todd. Is it 3rd and 33?
Well, that's what they just put up on the scoreboard,
yes,
and of course there was no change in the yardage on that play. So,
wow. I guess I didn't do the math on that penalty. I guess they called.
They were a little slow changing the scoreboard. So.
Well, they called it from the spot too, and then they went back 15 from there. So that's why. Okay, all right. Let's call the 3rd and 33 play, guys.
So Clater drops back, looks to throw, never had a chance. Wow. He wanted Devin McEwen, but it wasn't going to work out that way.
There was 4 Whitehouse guys there, and actually there was three Jacksonville receivers in the same vicinity, which is what caused 4 Whitehouse defenders there. And Patrick threw right in between them and said, all right, who wants this? Who wants it? Go get it. Nobody got it. So here's Darian Jones standing in his end zone to punt the ball. Thiering, who caught the last touchdown pass for Whitehouse, is standing at Jacksonville's 38. So they're going to get good field position here.
Let's see if Jones can get a good bounce, and he does not. Thiering able to run up and field that cleanly.
He just Darian Jones'd it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he took it to just outside the Jacksonville 20.
Yeah, he's coming up a little gimpy as Thiering. I mean, he took that on a dead run. It was a knuckleball, Aaron, into the wind, which makes it even more difficult to catch. And, boy, you got to give Thiering credit for Whitehouse getting under that. And, boy, he took some shots on the way down, though, didn't he? But Whitehouse is going to get fantastic field position here after the return and the high punt that didn't go very far at the Jacksonville 21-yard line. Shortest field I've seen Jacksonville have after a punt in a long time.
Whitehouse will set up with 2 receivers on each side. One back, and Flitty keeps going to look, going to throw. And check that as he pulls it down and makes a little bit out of it himself.
Yeah, good coverage by Jacksonville secondary. Rivers doing a nice job. Clayton, Fuller getting back in coverage and forcing Conflitti to pull the ball down. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, so second down 10.
And so now Conflitti hands off. Jacksonville not giving much there.
Yeah, nice job. Carson Cleaver, the senior, coming up on Alexander and making a nice form tackle. And
yeah, really, check that. That's Washington.
Washington, excuse me. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, just locking up on him, pulling him down. Casey Kennedy will check in. Darian Jones comes out. So 3rd and 7 now for Jacksonville. Whitehouse at the Jacksonville 19. Now Jacksonville's going to have to call timeout.
So we'll step away with them and take a short break. This is Fighting Indian Football on JHS-Sports.com.
As ETMC joins the UT Health family, we're bringing a new vision of healthcare to East Texas, where the brightest minds in academics and medicine work together to treat the most complex health challenges and improve lives, where access to world-class medicine and cutting-edge technology will bring health, hope, and a brighter tomorrow. We are UT Health East Texas, advancing healthcare together.
Hi, this is Ben Peacock, proud principal of Jacksonville High School. On behalf of the awesome students and staff members at JHS, I'd like to say thank you for watching tonight's game. From exceptional academics to a robust catalog of extracurricular programs, our campus provides a truly impressive array of opportunities for all Jacksonville students. For more information about Jacksonville High School, please visit
And we are back at Wildcat Stadium. See if the Indians defense can hold on a third down here. There looks like a hold, speaking of, as the pass is complete to Thiering.
Incredible. No call right there. Boy, Bryson Tatum, I mean, they took his jersey off.
Yeah.
He was blitzing.
Yeah, that's a terrible no call.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, you guys are calling it from the press box. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Kenny Kennedy just absolutely destroyed his headset nearly, coming off with it. Oh.
First and goal from the 9.
Terrible no call.
So after that, first and goal from the Jacksonville 9 as Gooden gets the handoff. He's down to the 2-yard line.
How do you not see that? I don't know. I mean, you know, I can see if it's away from the ball and it's not germane to the play, but, I mean, Tatum had a beat on the quarterback and he got held. No call.
So now, Conflitti keeps it himself after a fake handoff, and he's in. Touchdown, Whitehouse.
So the Wildcats continuing to move the football, not spectacularly. They just don't make a lot of mistakes, guys. They take advantage of your mistakes. Short field, fumble, interception. Turning both Jacksonville turnovers into scores.
Good.
So the extra point is good, brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty. With 3:08 to go in the third quarter, our score now, Whitehouse 35, Jacksonville 7. We'll step away and come back in a moment. You're listening to Fightin Indian Football on JHS-sports.com.
Dr. Folden, Dr. Westbrook, Dr. Rutherford, and their dental team at All Smiles provide a wide range of dental services. This includes cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, and cosmetic dental care. Call and schedule your appointment at 903-586-0741.
Homes and Properties Realty agents work hard for you to offer a full-service experience. They pride themselves on giving both buyers and sellers the representation they deserve and are ready to serve you today.
Since 1952, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has been protecting their customers with life, auto, and homeowners insurance. Call Micah Hoffpower in the Jacksonville office at 903-586-9809. Micah's years of experience will help you find the right coverage for you and your family.
And we're back live to Whitehouse Wildcat Stadium. 3:08 to go, third quarter. Whitehouse pulling away 35-7 as they, as you said, Matt Montgomery, they've just been able to methodically matriculate the ball down the field all afternoon.
Yep, and take advantage of Jacksonville's offense just being, just, again, I said it in the first, inept, just unable to move the ball.
So now a high pop kick to the near side, fielded by Jones. He's got a few blockers as he tries to stretch the field back to the right side. He's done a good job of it, and he's out to the Jacksonville 44.
Darian Jones he's not quitting. He's still playing. He is all over it. So Clater will check back in at quarterback for Jacksonville after Darian Jones gets his second nice kickoff return. And we talked earlier about, Jacksonville when they were down 28-7, no more mistakes. You can make up 21 points now. Guys, the hole's deeper, and now your back's really against the wall.
So two Indian receivers each way, man in motion jet sweep, a handoff, and nothing doing.
Mallard. We talked about how good Whitehouse has been defensively, but statistically this year, but again, going into last week's game, hadn't beaten a team with a winning record, so you thought they were suspect. I called them suspect before the game, but I still think they are. I just don't think Jacksonville's. We just hadn't shown up yet today, guys. We're just not there yet.
Now 2 receivers each way for Clater. He'll load up and fire. He's looking for Latrell Rivers, slightly underthrown, and Latrell had to play a little defense to knock that one away. Incomplete.
Yeah, if Rivers comes away with that one, it's just a Chris Carpenter miracle catch because Whitehouse all over that. Not a chance. Jaden Brandon, who already has the interception from a few minutes ago, he had his hands on it. Thankfully, Rivers for Jacksonville got up there and got his hand in there and knocked it away. But double coverage there. Patrick throwing into. McEwen.
And so now McEwen picks up another Bill McRae Ford first down inside the Whitehouse 45. A little spark for Jacksonville.
If you had to pick a pass that Clater is really adept at, it's the slant route. It's the post, the slant. He just seems to get his feet set much better, but when he's throwing off the edges or he's moving the pocket, sometimes he has a tendency to sail the football and not be nearly as accurate as he is, like you saw right there on that slant route. That was nice.
So now Clater hands off and nothing doing for Hinojosa, which unfortunately has been the story of his 2020.
Yeah, it's just been, he came on really strong in the second half of his junior year, and going into the season, you thought you had a totally different look, until you lost Jaden Boyd, the freshman, on the first play of the game on a kickoff to start the season, and that changes your whole offensive backfield mindset right there. You don't have the big back. Dino's just been carrying the load.
McEwen in motion. He gets the handoff, but he can't stretch the field.
You're just not getting a push at all from the Jacksonville offensive line at all. The defensive tackle on a jet sweep, getting in there and making that play like that means somebody's not holding their block. You can't get off the front like that and get into the backfield and chase a guy down like McEwen unless you just hardly got any contact put on you.
So 3rd down and 13 now from the Whitehouse 46-yard line as we go under a minute. The handoff to Hinojosa. The ball is out, and I think Whitehouse has it.
They do. Another fumble and another recovery by Whitehouse, and it's Chris Roberts this time, the senior, coming away with it. It was just a simple handoff to Hinojosa, and he had full control of it, and he just coughs it up. 3rd turnover of the game for Jacksonville, and this is what you call Turkey Day after Turkey Day. This is ugly, ugly, ugly.
So Whitehouse back to work. As Confletti takes the snap, looks left, throws. A screen set up over there. Good blocking, and the Cats now into Jacksonville territory as Wilson makes the catch and run.
Yeah, a lot of 10th graders for Whitehouse. You look at that roster and some of the guys making plays, like right there, Wilson, he's a 10th grader. And Mikovic Hall, number 3, he's a sophomore. So you got some guys that, and Reed Alexander's got a touchdown. He's a sophomore. And that's going to end the 3rd quarter as they're going to let it run out here. Stay tuned for the trivia.
So after 3, our score, Whitehouse 35, Jacksonville 7. And Matt, you want to go ahead and set up that trivia question?
Let's go ahead and set up. All right, everybody, history fans in Jacksonville football. There's been 4 Jacksonville running backs in their history who finished the year ranked in the top 10 in the state in Class 5A rushing. Name 2 of them. 2 of the 4. Can you name 2 of the 4 that finished the year ranked in the top 10 in rushing in Class 5A? See if you can name, if you name all 4 of them, that'd be great.
2 of the 4. Let's see. Richard Whitaker.
Richard Whitaker's the one I got.
That's one. Yep.
Let's see.
I'll give you a hint.
Was it
1970s?
70s.
The 1970s. Almost called his name because I think we were talking about him earlier. We were talking about he was the track athlete that we were talking about, I think, and I've completely drawn a blank. So as we get set,
we'll get to it.
We'll keep thinking here as the Cats get set to start the fourth quarter play. 2 receivers each way, a handoff straight ahead down inside the 40.
You know, I know
Washington.
A lot of these trivia questions I'm giving you guys, a lot of them occurred, before you were born, Aaron. So I don't fault you, and of course you guys, and you too, Ryan. Todd, not so much, but close. But yeah, these are guys that people listen to these games. They remember these guys, and if you want to call the 70s were really a great decade of football for Jacksonville. And I'll give you one hit. One guy is a repeat. He did it twice as a junior and a senior. All right, here's the play.
2nd and 4 for the Cats. The handoff is to Washington. He gets out of the first contact, and he's got a first down all the way to the 27-yard line.
Band starts playing right behind me here, so. All right, we have somebody just texted in. Jeff Clark just texted in Jerry Aldridge. That's one of the 4.
Well,
so we got Richard Whitaker and Jerry Aldridge. There's 2 more.
1st and 10. Whitehouse down to the 26 of Jacksonville. 2 receivers each way. Conflitti going to look for one of those over the middle on a slant, but it's incomplete.
He had that sophomore who already has 1 catch for a touchdown. Reed Alexander on that 3rd and 8 a moment ago had the slant route going against another young buck there out there, Claiborne of Jacksonville. Incomplete. So 2nd and 10 now for Whitehouse at the Jacks 26.
This time the handoff is to Washington, and he'll just go straight up the middle, put his head down, and run over a man to the Jacksonville 13.
Just no answer. Just no answer for Jacksonville, that line of scrimmage. So a lot of thought. Obviously, we'll go into next year looking at personnel. Is the 3-4 really? It just hasn't worked for Jacksonville this year. Is it a scheme thing? Is it a personnel issue? Going to find out.
2 receivers each way, stacked. A handoff this time to Washington, and Jacksonville smothers him.
Torres and Kennedy come off and out the edge. The Indians were obviously in the right defense right there, lost on the play of about 4. So 2nd and 14 pushes the ball back to the Jacksonville 16-yard line for Whitehouse. So guys, you still nobody. We got Jerry Aldridge and Richard Whitaker. 2 more. Here's the play.
2 receivers each way, 2nd and 13. The ball sitting on the Jacksonville 16. Handoff is to Washington, and
nice.
First tackle no good, but the second one finished with a little bit of force.
Yes, Tatum slowed him up and almost made the tackle, and then Casey Kennedy comes up with Fuller to finish him off. So 3rd down and 12 now for Whitehouse as the Jacksonville defense. A couple of nice plays there.
Mark Boyd, Matt?
Nope. It is a Boyd, but not Mark. You're close. You got the same family.
I knew it was one of those great football families of Jacksonville.
Yep, both of them are.
2 each way. And incomplete as Conflitti fires it away.
Yeah, he just skipped the pass, frustrated with himself. He had his man, number 15, that's Thiering, in the corner. Wouldn't have scored, but it would have been a catch for a first down maybe, so it's 4th down. And Marcus Gold will send out his kicker, number 21, Ben Harris, to try to tack on the field goal. And Harris, of course, missed earlier from 32. This one is going to be 32 again.
So field goals brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty all season long. This one from Harris, no good. So 0 for 2 from 32 yards is Harris. With 8:43 to go, fourth quarter, Jacksonville takes over, trailing 35-7.
All right, here we go. Okay, let me start at the Richard Whitaker. That's correct. He was the 4th leading rusher in the state in 1998 with 2,196 yards. In 1974, Jerry Aldridge was the 10th leading rusher in the state with 1,243 yards. In 76, Kirk Aldridge, his younger brother, was the 4th leading rusher in the state, 1,580. And we're going to go back before 1974 after this play and tell you who's the leading rusher 2 years in a row, in the top 10 2 years in a row. Here's McCown at quarterback.
McCown is back in. He'll hand off
Malachi
to Williams, and he's slung down forcefully.
Can't do that, Malachi. You can't leave the inside of the tackle and try to bounce it to the outside. They're going to get you. So McCown checks in at quarterback, wearing number 19. He was wearing 18 last week, and he's changed to 19 this week. Malachi stays in the backfield with him.
Trips left, 1 right go the Indian receivers. McCown fakes a handoff. Under pressure. Down he goes.
It just hesitated just a little bit. Again, I think it's the speed, guys. He's looking for Darian Jones on the slant. And he just didn't let it go, waiting for Darian Jones. By that time, they were on him. Okay, here we go. 1970, Lemon Boyd was the 8th leading rusher in the state with 1,364. In 1971, the next year, Lemon Boyd was the 5th leading rusher in the state with 1,330.
How about that?
Boyd, 2 years in a row in top 10. Great player.
So 3rd and a mile now. McCown under pressure. Got to get rid of the ball, Ryan. He fumbles. If they're going to call it a fumble, it's a Whitehouse touchdown.
It
and
is.
That's the signal.
Well, officials talking about it now. They're wanting to say, was he down already in the end zone, or did he get rid of the football? And now they're talking about it. But so far, it's a touchdown for Whitehouse as Ryan McCown retreating.
Yep, that's the call. There it is.
What's the score?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Touchdown. Yeah.
Thanks. I couldn't see the confirmation.
It was going to be points no matter what.
Yeah, Wayne Coleman now asking the official if Ryan McCown's arm was not going forward before he went down on the ground in the end zone. That's what he was asking for. That's a tough start for Ryan McCown in his first varsity ball game. He'll get better, I promise you. He's just got to get used to the speed of the game, and that's one of the reasons he was pulled up these last 3 ball games, was to get him acclimated to varsity speed before he comes in next year as a junior.
So now the extra point attempt. It's brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty, and it's good. So with 7:11 to go here in the 4th quarter, Whitehouse has blown it open. The Wildcats lead 42-7. We'll take a short break and come back. You're listening to Fightin' Indian Football on JHS-sports.com.
Gene Brumlow, class of 66, and his daughter Ann Farmer proudly support Jacksonville Athletics. Come on over to the South Jackson Dairy Queen and get one of their world-famous blizzards. Dairy Queen, where happy tastes good.
Tonight's game statistics are sponsored by Randy Gorham, CPA. Randy Gorham, CPA, the source for your accounting and income tax needs since 1984.
And we're back live at Wildcat Stadium in Whitehouse, where the home team trying to put the finishing touches on this one. See if Jacksonville can answer, as Casey Kennedy just has to get under a high popped-up kick at the 35 of Jacksonville. So it'll be a good field position again for the Indians.
So Ryan McCown, I like this right here. It looks like they're going to put him back in. Wayne Coleman's talking to the senior, Clater, explaining to him. And Clater, he is such a great young man, and he's staying by Coach Coleman, who pats him on the head. And, Clater gets it. He understands. I mean, he's been a 2-year starter, and it's time to let the young guys play and start looking at next year. Not that Patrick's done, and we're not saying that. So here's Jacksonville throwing 35.
2 receivers each way from McCowan, and he will look left and throw, and there's the arm we've all been waiting to see.
What a catch by Tony
What a catch was made.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Oh
wow.
My goodness.
But there's the arm strength. And
did you see that flick right there?
Wow.
Hey, I'm telling you. He just flicked his wrist.
Yeah, he did.
It was a nice throw.
But Tony Pinson.
Oh, my goodness, Pinson. Oh.
Bill McCray Ford first down into Wildcat territory. What a catch. And McCown going to toss again. This time he's got Kennedy, and he is ridden down violently and illegally.
Yeah, I got him right at the back of the helmet, turned it, and also the back of the neck for the horse collar, but it's face mask from behind.
That's how you know it was dirty. Not to say it was necessarily intentional, but that's just how you know it was a bad tackle.
Yeah, when
you're getting face mask from behind.
Yeah, 3 flags. Yeah, face mask from behind, that's impossible. There's no face mask back there.
Yeah.
But they did turn the face mask around almost.
Yeah, it was on the back of the helmet by the time the play was over.
First down almost. Jacksonville at the 20 of Whitehouse.
So we'll see if McCown, there's a bad snap over the head of McCown. He'll just have to dive on it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't, not that bad of a snap. I mean, it was a little bit high. But, when you're a 10th grade quarterback and you're coming out for your first varsity action, and you really need that football to hit you right in the chest. You don't need to be having to think about, now this may be a high snap, I got to go get it. You need it right there. And it wasn't. Big loss.
So we'll go under the 6-minute mark here in the ball game before this snap. Trips right, 1 left, go the receivers for McCowan. He'll fake a handoff, now throwing a slant route, got a man, and he's got his first varsity touchdown.
33 yards to Rivers on a perfect slant route as Luttrell splits the corner in the safety, and boy, Ryan McCown threw that ball low and away, kept it away from the safety, and boy, what a nice throw. And the Indians, 65-yard drive led by the sophomore Ryan McCown on some nice passes, good catches. His receivers doing a nice job. Here's Solano to tack on the extra point.
So the extra point's brought to you by Homes and Properties Realty. This one's up and good. So with 5:50 to go here, fourth quarter, our score now, Whitehouse 42, Jacksonville 14. We'll take a short break and come back. You're listening to Fightin Indian Football on JHS-Sports.com.
That 100% beef Whataburger takes 2 hands and all of your attention. So yeah, now is the time to sneak that fry. Good thing there's plenty to savor. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Did you know that Homes and Properties Realty listings are advertised on hundreds of websites worldwide? Their agents can show you any property listed in beautiful East Texas and the surrounding area. Call them today.
Let's celebrate the homegrown tomatoes, who today are cultivating the next crop of Jacksonville's finest. We are so proud of our faculty and staff in Jacksonville.
And we're back at Wildcat Stadium, and Ryan Travis is going to cue up for us the replay on that last touchdown. And Matt, just taking a look here at Ryan McCowan, just perfectly in sync for his first varsity touchdown.
Very nicely, well done, good throw. He's over on the sidelines grinning from ear to ear.
And here's a high pop-up kickoff that is fair caught at about the 27 of Whitehouse.
So you're starting to see some of those younger players coming into the ball game for Jacksonville. See LaQuinton West coming in. See if I can spot. There's freshman Jermaine Taylor. He's going to be a good one, clearly a good one. I got a couple of numbers here, guys, I don't have on my roster. I don't have 85. I don't know if you guys do. But
it's a bit like spring training baseball.
Yeah. new faces. Also the junior checking in, Matt Blankenship at tackle.
So Confetti will keep. Actually, that may be. Let's see if that's a new QB.
Yeah, it's Josh Green. Yeah,
good spot.
He's a freshman. You know, you bring a freshman up on the varsity, you think you got somebody there that's pretty special, and you don't do that. You play those guys down so they can get reps and get better. So when you see a freshman like the quarterback there, Green, you see Jermaine Taylor for Jacksonville, Carmelo Claiborne, Jaden Boyd. Of course, Boyd got injured, but you know those guys, they can contribute.
So 2nd and 10, as Green will fake a handoff, keep it himself, run up into the Mixmaster, and he's shoved down. Welcome to varsity football, freshman.
And he was tackled by another freshman, Jermaine Taylor.
Yeah, he was.
Boy, Jermaine came in, and that's what you want. That's what you need to see from Jacksonville in the future. You got to see guys not just bump, not just hit. You got to grab and you got to pull. You got to maintain the tackle and you got to pull them to the ground. And that's what Jermaine Taylor did right there on that tackle. You just got to have a good, strong grip, pull them down.
So 4.5 minutes and counting here in the ball game. As Green will keep again and run to his left. A nice blocking down there. He gets into the secondary and makes his way out to about the 38-yard line. That's good for a first down.
Boy, yeah, 3rd and 10. You know, you want to get the ball back and watch Ryan McCown see what he can tackle. We got a hold on the play. Maybe that's why he got a 12-yard gain.
It could very well be.
Yeah. So keep it at 3rd down, and it'll be a long way. So get a stop here, get your offense back out on the field so you get those young guys those reps they need. As you head into Tomato Bowl next week, Mount Pleasant comes to town to finish off the 2020 season. As the Mount Pleasant Tigers, not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but pretty close, I would say.
They would need a win and some help.
Big help.
Handoff this time to the back, makes the man miss. 25-yard line, and out to the 30 he goes.
Man, he got closer than I thought closer than what Kenny Kennedy wanted on 3rd and long, obviously. So let's see if Marcus Gold sends his punting unit in on 4th. It's 4th down, yeah. Here comes the punting unit. Darian Jones will drop back for Jacksonville. Jacksonville's, with all these young guys, they don't know who to have on the field right now. They have 11 out there. They're going for it.
So they will go for it, and looks like they'll pick up the first down.
Jacksonville,
there's a flag.
Completely out of sorts was Jacksonville right there. Now, do we have another hold?
Yeah, there's a flag on this near side. Let's see.
Holding. You know, some big gainers right there, and then you get the holding call, and it makes you feel better, and you go, oh, that's why the guy got the yards, huh? But Jacksonville substituting right there, really out of position. And that's what's going to happen when you're pulling guys in and out, trying to get them reps. So now the punting unit is in for Whitehouse. Jones has yet to drop back in his typical punt receiving position. Waiting to see what Whitehouse is going to do here. It's 4th in a good ways here. I mean, they're not the Dallas Cowboys. They're not going to go for it on 4th and 10 on their own 20, are they? It's 4th and 15 for them. Maybe they will.
Yeah, in one of the most 2020 developments that you'll ever see, Matt, I don't know that you can see all the way over here, but on the near side, the Whitehouse mascot has on a face shield.
Yeah, that's very 2020. If I see him, I'm gonna tear it off of him.
Well, I don't know. I guess we're picking up some of the chatter from the Whitehouse, I guess the Whitehouse band director.
Yeah, we are. He's been talking a lot.
And just noticed he told the band to make sure they had their masks on, or else they'd have to do contact tracing. So I guess that's a threat in 2020.
I guess it is. Now you watch it now. I'm going to contract trace you.
That's right.
Contact trace you. It's hard to say.
That's right.
Here's the punt.
So 4th and 15, Whitehouse out to punt.
And Jacksonville jumped off sides. Now that is 2020.
Yeah, it is.
Unbelievable.
And so we'll roll down to the 40-yard line of Jacksonville.
I mean, it's not going to be a first down, but it's just frustrating. Offsides, Jacksonville, declined by Whitehouse. Thank you. So Ryan McCown, the sophomore, will step back out here for another offensive possession. The last one ended pretty good with the touchdown pass to Rivers. I'm going to say Zalatil Antonio, he is a gamer. You know, he got injured against Pine Tree. Thought he'd broken his leg. Doctor said no, but if you can play in pain, he's out there playing. What a tough kid.
Yeah. He wanted to play last week.
He did.
Two each way from McCown. McCown under pressure. You're going to pull it down and run and do a nice job of it, too, as he's out over the 45.
Yeah, Josh Moore, you can almost hear him through my mic, I bet. He said, throw the ball away, throw it away. He still had time to throw it away, but once he got past the 40, he couldn't throw it away then. So he does pick up a nice 7-yard gain. It's McCown scrambling. Doesn't see anybody. Watch Jermaine Taylor out here, Aaron. He is going to be exciting out here at the wideout, number 23.
McCown just going to hand off.
Mallard.
And Mallard tries to backtrack in reverse field, and that's not going to work.
Nah. Mallard's going to be one of those guys coming back next year in a very small junior class that will be seniors next year. We've talked about that before. It'll be one of the smallest senior classes since I've been broadcasting football. I can tell you that. I mean, there's 6 juniors that really play a lot right now. So if all 6 come back, I mean, that's a pretty small senior class.
Yeah, it is. 2 receivers each way from McCown. Here comes the pressure. He rolls to his right, moves the pocket, and finds a man. Wow. What a pass. What a play, just extending the play and finding Casey Kennedy for the Bill McCray Ford first down.
Yeah, you see how Ryan can move the pocket when he sees it breaking down. But what he's really good at, and I noticed this ever since he was a freshman, how well he can throw on the run. I mean, he really gets his shoulders turned around and keeps his – a lot of guys can't maintain their mechanics when they're running away from people. He can. And you saw why right there. You saw how right there when he makes the completion for the first down.
So down under a minute to go, 2 receivers each way from McCown. Let's see if he can get the Indians back to the end zone. He's going to take a shot, and incomplete.
Claiborne down there.
Looking for Carmelo.
I mean, you think about the future here for Jacksonville. You got McEwen, sophomore. Carmelo Claiborne, freshman. Jermaine Taylor, freshman. Jaden Boyd, freshman. I mean, you've got some guys that are going to be your playmakers of the future. And, sadly, the future's right now for Jacksonville this late in the season. But you got a couple of games here to kind of get their feet wet, a little taste of varsity football.
Trips left, 1 right. If you're in the Whitehouse band, please pick up your garbage.
No kidding.
Ryan McCowan rolls left, throws back over the middle for Kennedy.
Good throw. Man, that was nice. I mean, you see he was rolling to his left, and I know I seem like I'm going on and on, but it's exciting whenever you see young quarterbacks come in that you've been waiting for because you know they have the talent, and then all of a sudden they're out there. You just like to see them perform well. Didn't start out that way for Ryan McCown today. Yeah, he really had a tough series on that fumble for the touchdown. As we go under 18 seconds remaining in the game, take a shot.
They're going to empty the backfield. He'll sling it out for Mallard. He's got him, and see if Mallard can get some momentum going as he's got the Bill McRae Ford first down. 7 seconds left on the clock. One shot here. Well, they'll go ahead and restart it. Maybe there won't be another shot.
Well, we didn't call timeout.
And that will do it.
Just let it run out. I don't know why I didn't call timeout.
And so at the end of the ball game, our score, Whitehouse 42, Jacksonville 14. But, Matt, a lot to be said for what we saw out of some of those young guys here late in the game, McCowan and others. Lots of things to be hopeful about.
Yeah, it's what we expected to happen. I mean, that's why he pulled them up. I mean, we knew that he wasn't going to pull up these guys and just they weren't going to play. It was just a matter of timing. It's a matter of positioning. Like Todd said earlier, I mean, what point of the game do you put them in? You don't want to put them in bad situations, but, the game is decided early in that third quarter on those 2 quick scores by Whitehouse, and then you said, you know what, let's go. Let's roll. Now what will be interesting is next week when you go home, it'll be senior night, and you know that you want those guys to play, but you still need to work those guys in and get them some reps. So Wayne Coleman will gather his team, and we'll get Wayne Coleman's comments on our All Smiles post-game interview. So, Todd, if you want to cue up the stats and start those, we'll get Wayne Coleman here in a few minutes.
We'll do that. Thanks, Matt. The post-game stats, again, brought to you by Randy Gorham, your hometown CPA in Jacksonville since 1984. Randy has been helping you with your accounting and tax needs, and we thank him for his support of Fightin Indian football. Todd, let's break down those post-game stats.
The Indians had 43 plays on offense for 152 yards, with 170 yards passing and minus 18 yards rushing.
Ouch.
Oh, wow.
We were at 12 first downs, 1 rushing, 9 passing, and 2 were by penalties. We were 5 out of 10 on third down. Individual stats, Patrick Clater, 3 completions, 10 attempts, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And Ryan McCowan had 10 completions on 11 attempts for 108 yards and 1 touchdown. Rushing, Hinojosa had 8 carries for 21 yards. Receiving, Rivers had 3 catches for 58 yards, 1 touchdown. Pinson had 2 catches for 57 yards and a touchdown. McEwen, 3 catches for 25. Kennedy had 3 for 24. Mallard had 1 catch for 6 yards. Hinojosa had 1 catch, no gain, and that's all the different receivers there. So we had 4 punts today for 33-yard average, and we had 4 turnovers, 3 fumbles, and 1 interception.
Well, stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. You turn the ball over, you see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can't run the ball. And you had minus 18 yards rushing. Of course, there were sacks involved.
There were sacks, yeah.
Yeah, but if you take away the sacks, I would say that Jacksonville had to be less than 40, 50 yards rushing anyway.
Well, your main running back's got 21, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a tough day for Jacksonville running the ball. And of course, Wayne Coleman told me that Whitehouse is defensively is better than what a lot of people think. I mean, they gave up only, like you said, 17 points on average. Well, today Jacksonville got 14.
Mm-hmm. 14.
So there you go.
So those
few stats for Whitehouse.
Yeah,
real
go ahead,
quick,
Todd. Sorry.
While we're waiting on Coach. Whitehouse finished 60 plays on offense, 367 yards, 130 yards passing, 237 rushing.
Oh, my.
Their quarterback, Conflitti, 9 completions, 15 attempts for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns. Their main running back, Gooden, 20 carries for 148 yards. So he averaged 7.4 yards per carry. And receiving, Alexander had 2 catches for 56 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, here we got Wayne Coleman here.
All right.
Coach, I wouldn't call Whitehouse flashy. They were very methodical. They didn't have a lot of big plays. They just made the plays when they needed to have them. And it's just tough to get rolling offensively with the sacks tonight. Minus 18 yards rushing for your team overall.
It's so obvious. I mean, they run the ball so well.
Yeah.
Okay, and we don't. So it doesn't take an Einstein to figure out. Usually the team that runs the ball the best wins, and then you tack on a few turnovers, and here we go again. It's rolling against us.
You did get to get those young players in the game. Ryan McCown had after a rough start, getting used to a little varsity speed there, Coach. It was kind of surprising to him when he got in there, but, boy, once he got his feet wet, he started connecting with his receivers, and it looked pretty good.
You have to look at the situation you're in and figure out how are we going to get positive, good stuff out of this situation. And this was an opportunity today when the game kind of got away from us to put our younger kids on the field and let them get out there and make some plays. We had a bunch of sophomores on the field at the end of the game, the last fourth quarter, and it's good to see those kids get to play. They were at practice all week on Thanksgiving week. They deserve to play.
Yeah, we were joking. It looked like maybe the tryptophan had kind of kicked in for both teams. Everything about it was just kind of relaxing a little bit for a while before it kind of heated up. Coach, going into the last week, it'll be senior night next week. Mount Pleasant coming in. What do you want to get accomplished?
I want to get a win at home. I mean, we've been waiting on that, and it's something that our seniors really want to do, and I want to get it for them.
Coach, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Head Coach Wayne Coleman on the All Smiles post-game interview. Appreciate All Smiles sponsoring all of our conversations with Head Coach Wayne Coleman. Aaron, guys, back to y'all.
Thanks, Matt. That'll just about do it. Again, we want to thank All Smiles for sponsoring the conversations with Coach Coleman. We want to thank Randy Gorham for sponsoring our statistics all season. And for Matt Montgomery, Todd Travis, and Ryan Travis, this is Aaron Swink saying thanks for listening to Jacksonville Fightin Indians football on jhs-sports.com. We will see you next week as the Fightin Indians host the Mount Pleasant Tigers next Friday night in the final contest of the 2020 season. Until then, enjoy your extended Thanksgiving weekend with your family, and thank you for listening in. Good night.